Hi, I'm TP Sellers.
And I'm Ryan Bruner.
Today we're going to be talking about the movie Children of Men, which is a movie from 2006 from director Alfonso Cuarón.
And the movie's based on the novel, also titled "The Children of Men" by director P.D. James, or by author P.D. James, written in 1992. And to give a general summary of the film to start off, without really spoiling the plot or anything like that, essentially, humanity is in the world. I believe the year is 2027, and they are trapped in a world in which women are no longer fertile, whether it's because of the government or because of a variety of reasons. And as a result, humanity seems to have given up hope without the, I guess, will to push on for future generations. People have sort of become very self-seeking and self-interested, and in turn that has led to the collapse of most of the major governments of the world. But the government of the UK is still sort of one of the last strong surviving governments, and so the government in the UK is sort of where everyone wants to be. Everyone wants to be in the UK, and they seek asylum there, but unfortunately they can't take everyone in, and a lot of the people end up being immigrants and being mistreated, and so that the film really explores the mistreatment of people as well. But then essentially as the film progresses, they go on and they find out that there is one woman who's still pregnant, but the idea of how she became pregnant is sort of a mystery, as well as the idea of what she is exactly what do they need to do with the baby, if you will, is sort of the question that's up in the air. And so everyone sort of has their own opinions and their own different sense of what's right and what's wrong. And so the film really explores a lot of those themes in great depth, and that was one of the reasons why we enjoyed the film so much.
Yeah, one of the things Ryan said was talking about that I really found interesting was when he was talking about the treatment of immigrants, and the movie was made in 2006. It's based in the United Kingdom, but we still see some of those problems today in the year 2021, and it really speaks to how well this movie has stuck around in time. Because I was reading some things, and it said that it really flopped when it first came out, but over time it's become more of a classic, and more people have become to truly appreciate what the film brings.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I mean, I think that's one of the things that the film sort of addresses, is this idea of mistreatment of people.
And we will now take a break from this movie review to try a chip.
So today our review is sponsored by Pringles and Wendy's. They came out with a new chip, the spicy chicken sandwich chip, and so we're going to be giving it a review.
Yeah, in the glory of reviews, we'll double up reviews, bang for your buck action.
Yeah, so
one bite, everybody knows the rules.
Mm-hmm.
Trademark, Barstool.
Shout out Pringles and Wendy's for the sponsorship. We really appreciate that. Two out of 10. It's pretty terrible.
Yeah, it's not good. Do not buy it. Like, Pringles are good, even though they're sponsoring us. We can't lie.
They're terrible.
The Wendy's spicy chicken, don't get them. And that will conclude our ad of reviewing Pringles. Now back to our regular scheduled program.
All right, so now that we're back from that ad, thank you to Pringles, we're going to be starting off with some themes and what we liked. And I think one of the main themes of the film that we really both felt the film touched on really well was the idea of hope, and sort of the idea of maybe a loss of hope even, because humanity is going through such a rough time and people seem to not be able to find their way. They don't have anything to cling on. Everyone's acting solely in their own self-interest. And then it was just crazy at the end how when they see the baby, the fighting stops, even if it was just for a moment, between the militant fishes and the UK government. The fighting just seems to stop, and everyone sort of almost regains hope. And throughout the movie, that was something that just wasn't present. No one seemed to have any hope, and no one seemed to have any faith in humanity or faith in a better life.
Yeah, going off on that, based off the lost hope, like in this movie, it presents such a time that it seems unprecedented to us. Like, it seems so far-fetched, but here we are, 2 years into a pandemic that no one saw coming. It shut down our world. So I felt like in today's world, we can really relate to this movie and see, like, yeah, this may seem like outlandish, but these are people who have to adapt on the spot, and we've kind of had a fair share of that the past couple of years. I really enjoyed that Alfonso Cuarón was the director. He also directed Prisoner of Azkaban, Harry Potter, And I saw a lot of comparisons between those movies, how the camera setting he used was really dark, especially like when they're in the beginning of the movie and the bomb scene happens in the coffee shop. It's like not a lot of light going on. It's really dark, even though it's supposed to be in the morning when he's drinking coffee. It's a lot of darkness going on in that. I think it just signifies what the movie brings.
And one of the things that we actually researched and discovered was that Children of Men is actually a reference to some biblical passages. It's mentioned throughout the Bible. I don't think maybe that clicked for us right away, but that was just an interesting idea of bringing faith and religion into this, and sort of how there's maybe a spiritual journey and these people have lost their way, but they could almost find their way again.
Yeah, so you want to get into our out of 10 ratings? Hopefully it's better than the chips.
Yeah, so the chips were a 2 out of 10. They were not that good. They were pretty stale, and
yeah, they were definitely stale.
they just didn't taste that good. But as for the movie, it was also pretty stale, so pretty reflective. We did like how they kind of went into these deep themes, and we did touch on that. But overall, I would say, for me personally, what I found sort of lacking was the ability of the film to sort of progress a plot or take a new leap. It seemed to just be going over this dystopian society and this idea of faith and lost hope, and I feel like that's something that's been addressed in a similar way so many times in film, and I felt like this film didn't really bring a unique take to that. And then in addition to that, it seemed like the plot wasn't really moved by anything other than just, it seemed like they were sort of just constantly running around with no end in sight, and I felt like the plot wasn't really moved by action or dialogue, and I felt like it was just sort of moved by a journey or a quest, and for me that's personally not something that I value in a movie. I value action and plot and the ability of the film to sort of progress and develop characters on its own. And so for that reason, also a pretty stale film, a 4.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I probably won't go into that much detail with mine, but I wasn't too impressed with the film. I thought it had great acting. Thought the director is a great director from his previous films. And like Ryan said, I think they tried to present this copy and paste basic storyline that we've seen over and over again and add this unique twist to it with women being infertile and then the journey trying to find the woman that's pregnant and help her out. But I just felt it. We've seen this, don't really see it again. Wasn't too impressed with it. I felt like the movie took a little while to really grab my interest, and for that reason, I'm rating it a 6 out of 10. And that will conclude our rating for Children of Men. We look forward to having you. Next week, we'll try and find a new chip to review as long as we can find them.